What if Gary Bettman decided to expand the NHL to 50 teams in the league? Well, actually 48 because that is the cap limit here in NHL 24, but it is basically 50. We are going to be finding that out here in today's video, as I have put almost up to 20 new teams in the entire NHL, and a lot of these teams do come from the PHL. We got the new teams that will be in the new videos, like the Kentucky Fried Chicken, the Nevada Spacemen, the BBC Thunder, the Oakland Bank Robbers. Of course, we have the classic Halifax Bulls, Waterloo Riz, Yukon Icemen, all that good jazz. Now, not only are we going to be expanding the NHL to 48 teams, but we will be having a fantasy draft. Gary Bettman and we got together and figured out that it is only fair that every single franchise has the ability to reconstruct their entire roster top to bottom. Now that we have up to 48 teams in the show, so this is going to be a very fun, very interesting, and see how differently the league pans out over that time. Hopefully we see some of these new expansion teams come in and win a few Stanley Cups. If not, it'll be a little disappointing, but let's go ahead, do the fantasy draft, see which teams or which players go to which teams, I should say. So here we are at the end of the fantasy draft. Let's take a look at the first round. Obviously McDavid went first overall. Then there's another McDavid. Oh no, there's multiple duplicates in this sim who have been added from the expansion teams to the NHL, and they might actually have a better shot at winning a Stanley Cup here in NHL 24. Round 2 are their duplicates. It will only be duplicates of the best players in the world. Of course, we also have the legends coming in to play. As we do, we'll probably have Gretzky, Lemieux, Bobby Orr, Gordie Howe, all those great legends. We are going to continue along here, and I'm not going to be making any moves for the KFC roster here. It is their job to build a Stanley Cup contending team. I'm just going to simulate, see what happens, and see who goes on and wins the Stanley Cup year after year in the new age NHL. Now, if you guys do enjoy videos like this, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you get notified when I go live or either post a video. Also, rate the KFC jerseys 1 to 10 in the comments below. One of the very new teams of the Pasta Hockey League. Now, usually because of the duplicate players, I probably would have went ahead and redone this whole entire thing, but you guys don't know how long it took me to sit there and add manually, substitute team by team, put the PHL teams in the place for the Europe teams. With 48, it's how many more? 32 is the team, or the league has already 32 teams. I would have to manually go back and re-add 16 teams to the NHL. Not only add them, but substitute them for the Europe teams that already spawn in for some reason. I don't know why EA just doesn't allow you a better system to add all the teams to the league. Now, at the end of our very first season, the Warsaw Monsters will be the best team in the NHL, winning 54 games, followed by Carolina. They were up there. Arizona did not relocate to Utah quite yet. We got the Vancouver Canucks winning 53 games. The Red Wings are up there with 49, Minnesota 51, and Chicago as well. And if we take a look at the bottom of the league, we got the Alberta Moose, the Halifax Bulls, and the Italy Slices. The only team that is outside of North America, and you have to go all the way over to Italy, would be a long ass flight for all of these teams. Luc Robitaille will go ahead and lead the entire league in scoring with 137 points, followed by Austin Matthews, who had 134. McDavid was up there, who is on the Warsaw Monsters. Clayton Clutch Keller had 122, also 28 goals. Kucherov was up there. Jason Robertson, Brian Trottier at 117. If we take a look at the goal side, Matthews is going to lead with 71 on the season. Also, he joined the Waterloo Riz, followed by Nikita Kucherov, who had 62. Gretzky had 60. Kyle Connor, 59. Brett Hull, 55. Mikko Rantanen, 54. Also, shout out to Mario Lemieux with 53. For defensemen, Erik Karlsson on the Colorado Avalanche will dominate, 114 points, followed by Makar, who had 96. Ray Bourque had 94. Karlsson, 94. Makar was up there. Dennis Potvin and Josh Morrissey. And now for goalies, Alexander Georgiev is going to lead in wins with 46. Tristan Jarry had 44, and Jake Ottinger 42. Out to Patrick Waugh having 41 on the Carolina Hurricanes of all teams. As the shutout leader will be Ron Hextall having 8 on the season, despite the fact he only had a .909 save percentage, but I guess A lot of the games that Washington did win were shutouts, at least 8 of them on the season. As here we go, the playoffs do not change. They stay the exact same here in NHL 24. We got 16 teams. Here are the matchups. Let's see who goes on and ends up taking home the Stanley Cup at the end of year number 1. And the Pittsburgh Penguins will get the job done, beating the Warsaw Monsters in 5 games in the Stanley Cup Finals to go on and win another Stanley Cup with a whole different group of roster. But I mean, we almost had a PHL team win the cup in Warsaw. Unfortunately, we're going to have to wait another year. I am pretty confident that we'll see at least one of the PHL teams go on and win a cup during this video. No surprise here is McDavid's going to lead the playoffs in scoring, 16 goals, 30 points. Clayton Keller had 30. JT Miller was up there. Ovechkin, one final run in him, 8 goals and 28 points. Marcel Dion had 27. Svechnikov, 26. And the winning goalie was Robin Lehner, 16 wins, 7 losses. He had 3 shutouts and a .922 save percentage at only an 85 overall. Luke Robitaille will take home the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. Maurice Richard will go to Matthews. Erik Karlsson is going to take home the Norris. Bedard on the Italy Slices will take home the Calder. JT Miller is going to win the Conn Smythe. Georgiev the Vezina on Arizona. And Austin Matthews the Frank J. Selke Trophy, playing for the Halifax Bulls. Now here are the draft results in year number 1. The Halifax Bulls actually get the first overall pick. Kentucky went from 12 to 2. That is absolutely wild. I might go ahead and make that pick. I might not. Who knows? Actually, I'm probably just going to leave it. If anything, I would most likely mess up that pick. Alberta went 3rd, Italy 4th, and Edmonton 5. Now, taking a look at the Kentucky Fried Chicken, their first overall pick actually is the 2nd overall pick. They traded their first, went down to 2nd overall, and selected Stanislav Kafasha. He's a sniper, medium elite potential, 79 overall, 18 years of age, already going to play in the NHL. Look at his stats. They are pretty good. Now, at the end of season number 2, the Oakland Bank Robbers will actually go all the way, not all the way, but being the best team in the NHL, winning 52 games, followed by Warsaw. They won 51. Edmonton was up there. Carolina was good. Florida, Montreal, Chicago at the bottom. We have the Dallas Stars only winning 27 games. Anaheim was bad. Pittsburgh, who literally just won the Stanley Cup, went from winning the cup to being bottom 3 in the entire league. Brett Hull is going to be the best player in the world, leading in goals, winning with 69 and points with 133. Followed by Draisaitl, who had 127 or 128, my bad. McDavid had 124. Kucherov was up there. David Pastrnak, the other Draisaitl. Patrick Kane at 36 years old, 51 goals and 112 points. And if we take a look at the goal side, other than Hall, Pastrnak had 62, Kucherov 60, McDavid was up there with 58, Brad Marchand still kicking at 36 years old, 55 goals, and Connor Bedard, 19 years old, 55 goals, 31 apples. He's a 93 overall, slowly entering his prime, still not even old enough to drink in the American states across the league. Luckily, he does play in Italy. I actually don't know the drinking age of Italy, but Quinn Hughes is going to lead all D-man in scoring with 95 points, followed by Makar, who had 89, Ray Bourque 89, and Erik Karlsson's 87. For goalies, Glenn Hall going to have the most wins at 44, followed by Jordan Binnington's 42, and Darcy Kemper having 40. And on the shutout side, it would be a 3-way tie between Ottinger, Logan Thompson, and Darcy Kemper, all having 5 apiece. So not a lot of shutouts for the goaltenders this season. As here we go yet again, this is our year number 2 playoff bracket. And the Chicago Blackhawks are going to go all the way yet again. Warsaw making the Stanley Cup Finals, but losing in Game 7 to the Blackhawks. Ultimately, not getting a single Stanley Cup in the first 2 seasons. First we had Pittsburgh, and now Chicago. It feels like the 2010s all over again. McDavid lighting up the NHL, 17 goals, 37 points. Ovi had 37 at 39 years old. Gordie Howe had 35, Clayton Keller 33, and Lemieux 28. And for the goalies, let's see, Tristan Jarry, the winning goaltender, 16 wins, only 1 shutout. But I mean, he did have a .915 save percentage, which was a lot better than pretty much any other goaltender. Brett Hull will take home all the major individual awards. The Norris is going to go to Dennis Potvin, the Conn Smythe to Gordie Howe, Glenn Hall, the Vezina, And the Selke Trophy will go to Mario Lemieux of the Winnipeg Jets. Very interesting team choice. And KFC will grow from 9-1, winning the draft lottery, being able to select another great player. They selected second last season and now first this year. And with the first overall pick, the KFC Kentucky Fried Chicken take Hayden Kelly, 18 years old, medium elite potential, already an 83 overall. He's a sniper as well as the other guy who they drafted last season. And I believe he's going to play alongside Kavasha. He is 283 overalls, a 19 and 18-year-old. KFC will be a great team in about 3-4 seasons. They already have the great first line. These guys are going to grow to absolute superstars. Hopefully, they can be the first team that goes on and wins the Stanley Cup as one of the members of the PHL. Now, at the end of the third season, the Ottawa Senators will win the President's Trophy. 52 wins, 26 losses, 4 in overtime, followed by the Alabama Burger Boys, who actually won 49 games. The Red Wings were up there with 47, BBC Thunder 47, the Warsaw Monsters, they're very good, as well as the Kentucky Fried Chicken, baby. Back-to-back first and second overall picks, 48 wins, 29 losses, 5 in overtime. If we take a look at the bottom of the NHL, we still have Dallas. Colorado is down there, Fort Wayne, and the Calgary Flames, who are pretty much poverty, let's be real. They're not a great franchise. McDavid sent them into a rebuild, and they really have never recovered since then. Leon Draisaitl will lead the entire league in scoring with 117 points, followed by Matthews, who had 116. Ovi was up there with 115. McKinnon had a great season. Gretzky. Leon Draisaitl is going to lead the NHL in scoring with 117 points, followed by Matthews, who had 116. Ovi was up there. McKinnon, the great one, 67 goals, 114 points. Gretzky finally waking up at age 30. Clayton Keller has been amazing throughout the simulation. Adam Oates, 91 apples on the year. And if we take a look at the goals, Gretzky will lead with 67. Matthews had 63, Rantanen 62, Draisaitl had 60, and Kucherov 57. Bobby Orr will dominate as a D-man, 20 goals, 110 points. Dennis Potvin had 98, Bork 94, and Makar 94. And if we take a look at the goalies, UC Saros leading in wins with 43, Binnington 40, Ottinger 40, and on the shutout side, it will be Aiden Hill and the man who shall not be named, both having 5 shutouts on the year. Goalies are definitely taking another step back in this simulation, as we have 48 teams in the league. There's only so many starting caliber goaltenders alive in the world. Here we go, yet again, year number 3, playoff bracket. Who will go on and win the Stanley Cup? I'm hoping for either Kentucky, Alabama, Oakland, Warsaw, BBC, one of those teams from the PHL, please. Warsaw, you guys made the finals the last 2 seasons and still have not won a Stanley Cup in this video. And the Ottawa Senators will go all the way, winning the Stanley Cup over the Nashville Predators in 6 games in the finals. The furthest team made it from the PHL was Oakland. They lost to Nashville in the conference finals, also in 5 games, as they got pretty much dominated. But shout out to Ottawa for getting the job done. Victor Arvidsson is going to have a playoff run for the ages. 16 goals, 29 points, leading probably in both categories. Frost at 29, Kucherov 28, Nico Hischier was up there, as well as Sam Reinhart. Nathan McKinnon will take home the Ted Lindsay and Hart Trophy, the Art Ross, the Draisaitl, and Wayne Gretzky, the Maurice Richard. Bobby Orr is going to win the Norris. The Conn Smythe will go to Morgan Frost from the Ottawa Senators. UC Saros, the Vezina, and the Selke will go to Robert Thomas of the New York Rangers. Taking a look at the 2 young prospects, Kafasha is up to an 87, and Hayden Kelly is an 88 overall at 19 years of age. He put up 46 goals as a rookie in the NHL. That's going to be crazy. This KFC team is going to be loaded for years to come. They also have Logan Stankoven down the middle, who's only 23 years old himself, so he's very young. This honestly might be the favorite to be the first PHL team to go on and win a Stanley Cup. Now it is the Alabama Burger Boys' turn to be the best team in the league, winning 53 games. Nobody yet to win 60 games. I'm a little surprised by that with all the bottom feeder teams we do have in the NHL now. The Warsaw Monsters won 54. Ottawa was up there, Carolina and Winnipeg. And at the bottom, we have the Nevada Spacemen, a brand new team to the PHL, but unfortunately here in the the NHL not doing too great. Nathan MacKinnon is going to have himself a season, 129 points, leading all skaters, followed by McDavid, who had 122. Gretzky was up there. Bedard is already producing at an all-time great level, 52 goals, 114 points. Nate Gensel is up there, 113. If we take a look at the goal side, McDavid gonna lead with 65 on the season, followed by Gretzky, who had 62, McKinnon 59, Patrick Kane had 59 at age 38. I swear players in this game literally do not age. It doesn't matter the age, it only matters the overall and potential that you have, as Cale Makar will lead all defensemen with 98 points. Bobby Orr had 92, only 13 goals. Carlson at 87, Fox 85, Housley 80, and if we take a look at the goalies, Jake Ottinger will have the most wins at 43, and the most shutouts will go to none other than Aiden Hill, who had 7. Also, a 909 save percentage. So it wasn't like he was absolutely spectacular, but 7 shutouts is a great year for a goaltender. And here we go. This is our year number 4 playoff bracket. Hopefully, again, every single season, I'm hoping for one of the PHL teams to finally go on and get it done. Maybe Kentucky can do it. Who knows? I don't have those answers, but we are definitely going to be finding out. And unfortunately, the Winnipeg Jets will go all the way, dominating Chicago, sweeping them in the finals, as Alabama was the closest PHL team, losing to Winnipeg in the conference finals. But hey, shout out to the Winnipeg Jets getting it done with Mario Lemieux. Johnny Gaudreau will lead the playoffs in scoring with 32, followed by Gretzky, who had 31. Toffoli was up there with 30. Gordie Howe had 30. A lot of skaters absolutely lighting the lamp. Mark Scheifele, 27. McKinnon had 27. If we take a look at the goalies, John Gibson, only an .899 save percentage, somehow had 2 shutouts and 16 wins to help lead the Winnipeg Jets to their very first Stanley Cup in franchise history. Nathan MacKinnon will win the Ted Lindsay, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy. McDavid going to take home the Maurice Richard. Cale Makar, the Norris, the Conn Smythe will go to Lemieux. Elias Samsonov, the Vezina, and the Selke will go to Jack Hughes of the Alberta Moose. As the Nevada Spacemen will take the first overall pick, followed by Alberta, St. Louis, Central, and Calgary. I don't know if it's a St. Louis. Actually, no. The St. Louis Guns are not in this video. I gotta remember that. Now, for the retired players, Anze Kopitar is out of here. 1,317 points. Blake Wheeler is gone. Jonathan Toews somehow was still in the NHL, even though he's probably already retired in real life. Phil the Thrill Kessel, no, he's gone at 39. Zach Parise is out of here. Chris Letang, Petrangelo, TJ Oshie, Okposo, Giordano. Oh my God, there's a lot of great skaters. What about for goalies? Marc-Andre Fleury and Jonathan Quick. 2 champions have now announced their retirement from the NHL. The too many teams really got ahead of those guys. Now, taking a look at the 2 first-round picks, we have Kavasha, who's up to an 88, and Hayden Kelly, already a 91 overall at 20 years old. This dude's only 5'9", 180. But I mean, back-to-back seasons, 46 goals in his rookie year, 40 last season. So he's going to be producing very nicely in his prime. Still 5 years away from hitting 25, which is crazy. This dude could get up to like a 95, 97 possibly. Now here in year number 5, the Oakland Bank Robbers will be the best team, winning 52 games, followed by the Minnesota Wild. The BBC Thunder were up there. Warsaw, again, having a great season. Kentucky Fried Chicken, winning 51 games, a great improvement from where we started. At the bottom of the NHL, we have the Colorado Avalanche, who obviously are not good, winning 19 games. The Central Grizzlies are struggling. Tampa Bay, Florida, and St. Louis as well. Connor McDavid will go absolutely insane, leading in goals with 80 and points with 144. This is possibly the best season I have ever seen Connor McDavid put up here in NHL 24. 80 goals, 144 points. This dude is absolutely legendary. The best player of all time. Obviously won the Conn Smythe in real life. I'm still salty over that. That is going to be a wound that stings for a very long time. Wayne Gretzky would be another player who had a great season, 124 points. Johnny Hockey was up there. Clayton Keller, Elias Pettersson had 116. If we take a look at the goal side, other than McDavid, Gretzky had 71, Robertson 62, Jack Hughes actually had 60 on the Alberta Moose. Shout out to Alexander Ovechkin. This dude is 42 years old, putting up 58 goals and 105 points. Larry Robinson will have the most points by a defenseman at 101, followed by Ray Bourque, who had 98. Makar was up there, the other Makar, as well. Shea Theodore having a career season, 15 goals, 83 points. I believe that would be a career high for Shea, and it is, as this dude is more known as a two-way defensive defenseman, but in in this simulation, he's putting up 15 goals and 83 points. As Linus Ullmark will have the most wins by any goalie at 45, and the most shutouts will go to Logan Thompson, who had 8. And here is our Stanley Cup playoff bracket. Hopefully this can finally be the season that one of the PHL teams go all the way. Obviously, we do have Oakland. They were the 1 seed. Warsaw, it will always be good, as well as BBC. And the Kentucky Fried Chicken have a great team themselves. And finally, the first PHL team to do it will be none other than the beautiful British Columbia Thunder, are your Stanley Cup champions. They beat Detroit in Game 7. They clutched it up. They also beat Minnesota and Oakland in the second and third rounds. And they become the first ever Pasta Hockey League team to go on, win the Stanley Cup in this video. It only took us 5 years to get here, but thank God it does it ever feel good. Now in the postseason, Jesper Bratt, 17 goals, 32 points, monster playoff run. Draisaitl had 31, Brock Besser had 30, Johnny Hockey, 29. This Ivan Valentino guy on the BBC Thunder, 13 goals, 26 points. He's only 22 years old, already dominating the NHL and already has a Stanley Cup. And there it is, the BBC Thunder are your Stanley Cup champions in 2027-28. Obviously, McDavid is going to win all the major individual awards. Larry Robinson, the Norris, the Conn Smythe will go to Jesper Bratt. Logan Thompson will take home the Vezina, and the Selke to none other than the great one, Wayne Gretzky. Alrighty, so 5 years in, we finally have a PHL team that went on and won the Stanley Cup. I think I'm going to do 2 more seasons in this video. We'll see who goes on. Maybe BBC goes back-to-back, maybe even 3-peats. As St. Louis will get the #1 overall pick in the NHL draft. And yeah, we're basically just going to be finding out who else is going to be good here in the 48-team league in the NHL. So 2 more seasons. Let's see what happens. Now, it does look like the Kentucky Fried Chicken got rid of their 2nd overall pick, but stayed with Hayden Kelly, who is a 92 at 21 years old. I don't know where the other guy went. I guess he left in free agency. He didn't re-sign with the team. Maybe they didn't have the cap space to re-sign him. Who knows? Moving along, the Seattle Kraken will probably be the first team to win 57 games in the regular season of this video, 57, 19, and 6, followed by the KFC Kentucky Fried Chicken. They won 53 games. Anaheim was up there. Buffalo, Alabama was always going to be good. I mean, 51 wins. Nevada, finally, from bottom of the league to top 7 in a 49-win season. Absolutely incredible. Unfortunately for the Central Grizzlies, they were the worst team, only winning 22 games. Nathan MacKinnon is going to lead the NHL in scoring with 142 points, followed by Ovi, who had 70 goals and 129 points at age 43. How many goals in his career does he have? 1,151. Absolutely legendary shit. The Russian machine never breaks. Kirill Kaprizov was very good. Draisaitl was up there. Brett Hull had 123. Keller 123. And on the goal side, Alexander Ovechkin leading everybody with 70. Followed by Brett Hull, who had 63. Pasternak 60. Matthews 60. And Draisaitl 48. Now for defensemen, Ray Bourque, 35 goals, 104 points, dominating as a D-man and as goalies. Linus Ullmark will have the most wins at 42 shutouts. Saros getting close with Seattle and the most shutouts. We'll go to Adin Hill, yet again, rocking a .913 save percentage on the Nashville Predators. And this is our year number 6 playoff bracket. We shall see if the BBC Thunder do go back-to-back or maybe a new team takes the Stanley Cup home. If it is going to be a new team, hopefully it is a PHL team. And they have done it. The British Columbia Thunder will go back-to-back, being the first team to do so since the expansion, beating the Buffalo Sabres in 6 games in the finals. And this is probably the new PHL team, maybe the best PHL team, as they already have 2 Stanley Cups in this video. We got 1 more season. Let's see if they can three-peat. Now, looking at the BBC Thunder's roster, they obviously do have a 95 overall Draisaitl, who put up 16 goals, 31 points. Jesper Bratt had 30. Brock Besser, 29. Your mom's a hoe is on the squad. They do have a very good team, as well as Axel Sandin Pellikka, who's up to an 87 overall, and in goal, who's their goalie? Vitek Vanacek, who's only an 84. How do you go back-to-back with an 84 goaltender who only had an .893 save percentage in the postseason? Nathan MacKinnon is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. Ovi the Maurice Richard. The Norris will go to Ray Bourque. Brock Besser will win the Conn Smythe. Adin Hill the Vezina. And the Selke Trophy will go to Arnott. Now, 1 more year left. We're going to see if the BBC Thunder can go on and go 3 straight Stanley Cup finals, or not just 1 season to go. We are going to see if the BBC Thunder can go back-to-back-to-back, three-peating as the Central Grizzlies do get the first overall pick in the NHL entry draft. Now, at the end of the 5th and final season, the Oakland Bank Robbers will go 56-24-2, being the best team in the NHL, followed by the Vancouver Canucks. Carolina was up there, Columbus, and the BBC Thunder, top 8 in the NHL, winning 47 games, looking to have a three-peat here in the video to end the video, as Brett Hull will put up 143 points, leading all skaters, also 66 goals, which was the most in the NHL. Draisaitl had 63, Gretzky 62, and Bedard 56. And on the point side, I mean, Draisaitl was up there, McDavid, Gretzky, and Clayton Keller. Man, Clayton Keller, I don't know why he's simulating so goddamn good in this game. Not even in this game, just in this sim all along. I mean, take a look back here. 105 points, 114, 113, 123, 120. I mean, this dude is 31 years old, putting up historic numbers year after year. Barry Robinson will have the most points by a defenseman at 106, and for goalies, leading in wins will be Gabriel Diego at 44, and for shutouts, it will go to Sogard, who had 6, and here we go. This is our final playoff run of the video. Will the BBC Thunder three-peat, or will we have a new champion here in the NHL? And unfortunately, the Vegas LTIR cheaters will go all the way, defeating Carolina in Game 7 to take home the Stanley Cup. Oakland was the closest PHL team, losing to Vegas in the conference finals. Where did BBC land? They would actually lose to the Nevada Spacemen in round number 1. God, that definitely hurts. Brett Hull will take home the Ted Lindsay, Maurice Richard, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. The Norris to Larry Robinson. Paul Coffey will win the Conn Smythe. Diego Lavezna and the Selke to Marco Casper. And that will do it for this video. The BBC Thunder are the only PHL team to take home a Stanley Cup in the video. They actually went back-to-back, winning 2 of them, which was honestly very impressive. This is their jerseys, boys. I think they're pretty nice. Obviously, I will be coming out with another Past the Hockey League video in the near future, so stay tuned for that. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to leave some support. I would like to say thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.